Hello everyone and welcome to my Terra Maledicta review. Took me a while to get to this one, but now I'm finally doing it. So yeah, here's my review. So before I get into the actual map, Vanguard is constantly adding updates to zombies that changes the game mode as a whole, so it's kind of hard to review a specific version of the map because they're constantly adding new stuff to all the zombies content in the game. So today is May 27th, the day I am recording this, so I am reviewing the version of Terra Maledicta that is out as of May 27th, 2022. A lot of quality of life changes have been added. You can now cancel monkey bombs, which you weren't able to. So it's been a feature since Black Ops 4, and they added it back into this game. They fixed a lot of audio issues, like the power-up counter starts doing the audio cue at 10 seconds. None of this stuff really matters, but they have been fixing a lot of the little glitches to make it more consistent with all the other zombie games. Okay, starting with atmosphere / visuals for the review. I do like that it's complete daytime. It's a complete opposite of Duran Fong, because I did want to see what Vanguard zombies would look like in a daytime setting, because Duran Fong, it could be hard to see sometimes. So Terra, I'll just abbreviate it, TM, is another reskinned multiplayer map. I actually don't know the name of the multiplayer map. I've been only playing zombies in Vanguard mostly. But it's not too much of a problem. They've redone a lot of the map to have dark ether crystals. There's a lot of cool scenery. It can feel a bit generic at sometimes when you're just in the hub area, because sometimes there's nothing that makes it visually distinctive as zombies, but it still is a nice change from Duran Fong. The new Dark Ether / Void objective area is amazing. I really want to see more of it. I'd love to see a whole map set in there. It's the first actual good look at the Dark Ether we've actually seen for the Dark Ether storyline. Like, it's not like a parallel version like back in D Machine. It's like actual Dark Ether territory. So I'm really excited to see more of that. The environment is great in that area. The music is good, though. It's still just during the objectives. There's no atmospheric music depending on the area in like in Black Ops 4. But there's probably something that's going to change with the new content they're adding. There's completely unique PAP camos they also added Pack-a-Punch camos to the machine, so that's a side note. But these new ones for TM are completely different and visually distinct. I really like them, so those are quite nice. So overall, for atmosphere / visuals, the dark ether area is what raises this a bunch, because the hub area can feel a bit generic sometimes, the one based off the base of the multiplayer map. But I will give atmosphere / visuals. It's more about the visuals, because there's not as much atmospheric audio going on right now in Vanguard because of the way this game mode works. So more just because of the visuals and the dark ether area, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 for atmosphere / visuals. Okay, for map flow / gameplay, I've been completely off the zombies subreddit and stuff, so I don't know what other people's opinions on this map are. But I think the biggest problem is it feels so much like Duran Fong, just with a different skin on it. Like that, I think that's the big problem with Vanguard Vanguard zombies, just gameplay wise. The mode, let me see if I can put this into better words. The mode is repetitive. You could say the same thing for round-based, but for round-based, you had a lot more control over how you wanted your game to go. For this, it feels like you're constantly being guided into the same objectives, and I play this game every day, so it can feel like very, very grindy, especially when you're going for Dark Ether. I think another problem that adds on to this is that the new enemy Zabala the Deceiver, which I like, but I feel like I feel she's a good enemy, like personality, but we're not talking about like the story and stuff right now. But gameplay wise, it's more just if you're constantly running, you don't have to worry about her. And the problem is she was also added into Duran Fong, so that takes away uniqueness from that experience. So now it makes Terra, Maledicta, and Duran Fong even feel like even more of the same experience, just reskinned. There's like a better word to describe it, but I can't think of it. Now the Easter egg, this was really decisive because the Easter egg, it's not exactly a main quest either. It's more just to set up the map. And I enjoyed doing it the first time. It's really fun and all the story bits are great. But I'm talking about the gameplay portion right now. It takes, if you want the Decimator, you gotta sit through the minute of dialogue before each portal is activated. That's the worst part. Like, it's none of the actual challenge. It's just you're gonna have to sit right there doing nothing for 1 minute until the dialogue is over, so that the portal will open to continue your game. So it's almost not worth it, like starting a game, because you're just wondering if you want to sit through all of that instead of just going on Duran Fong and doing the void objective there. Because the only way to open up the void objective is to complete or get basically most of the way through the main quest of Terra Maledicta. And at that point, it's just like, why bother? Because basically you either have a choice to go for the brighter map with like a more interesting color palette, but you gotta sit through all that dialogue every single time you just want to get base set up on that map, or you go for the darker map that has the void objective more readily available. I don't know, it's like the mode is guiding you specifically on what to do, and that's why this is more like Vanguard gameplay problem as a whole, and less Terra Maledicta specifically. That's the problem. They both flow pretty much the exact same, because the way the objective of the game works is completely different from round-based. So I don't know, it's hard to like put into words exactly what the problem with it is. Like, I still enjoy it. I wouldn't be playing it every day if I didn't, but something about it feels much more restricting than round-based. The ray gun was also added, which is pretty fun, and I like it. It looks great, like graphically and stuff. It's got the same weapon inspect from Cold War. It had a bunch of screen shake when they first released it, so like your screen was shaking if you were just full autoing it. But they fixed that since then. But I do like it. It feels nice. And the Decimator, since I'm not talking about story yet, as a weapon, it's nice, but I think it is pretty much a reskin of the Gorod shield, but it is pretty nice, and I think they made a good compromise to how actual shields work in this game, since the armor system's in here. It just reduces damage done to your back, so I like it. But it could definitely, as a wonder weapon, is kind of basic if you, as gameplay wise. I'm not including the story yet. The one thing that does separate it from Duran Fong is there's a lot more to do in the map. The shovel, there's a lot of dig points. If I was reviewing this earlier, there would have been less content, but they've added a lot of new content to the dig points. You can dig up a ray gun. You can dig up pages to unlock that ray gun, which will also give you a death machine. Either way. you can dig up, this was recently added, you can dig up these XP orbs. Once you shoot them down, you can claim them, and it gives you 5k points. There's an antenna objective that's a little Easter egg. It also has to do with digging up. I think the big problem is the pages are kind of useless, because by the point you get all the pages, you'll probably already have a death machine or a war machine. And the ray gun has a really high drop rate right now. I never have a problem getting it, so I usually have the ray gun already by the time I accidentally dig it up. So, because digging up the ray gun seems much more rare than just it dropping from an enemy or a crate. So at that point, there's really no point to dig up the pages, but again, I only play solo, so it might be a very different situation when you're playing with the whole team. But yeah, if you want to jump into a void objective, definitely choose Duran Fong, because that has a much quicker setup if you want to just get straight into some type of round-based feeling mode. What would I rate the gameplay? I'm not rating this like compared to Duran Fong, because I don't remember exactly what I rated that, and I would probably rate it differently if I were to review it now. So I'm gonna say the gameplay is like 5.5. The point doesn't really mean anything, I guess, but 5.5 to 6. It just more because the gameplay doesn't have its own unique identity. The shovel does add a lot, actually. I'm gonna say 6, just make it around 6. And again, if I were to rate Duran Fong today, I would rate it differently than I originally did. So I'm not going to be comparing this rating directly to that as a way to gauge it, if you're seeing what I'm saying. No one's watching the video this far in anyway, but I like to talk. Let me see. I'm not sure if the decimator goes into the box in co-op games after you claim it. I don't know how that works, actually. I haven't seen anyone talking about this map, actually. Which, I'm not active on the subreddit, which I used to be on daily, just because I knew it was going to get negative during Vanguard's release. But I am on Zombies Twitter all the time, and really not much talk around it. But I think it's just too similar to Duran Fong as a whole. People aren't gauging it as its own thing. Even though no disrespect to the devs at all, because if people that are harassing the devs about it, that is like, do something better with your life. Not the devs, the people harassing them. Because the devs right now, they're working on multiple games at the same time. They're still on Cold War. They're probably working on their next Black Ops title, and they're working on Terra Maledicta, and they're completely redoing everything to make it fit a round-based map. Because right now, the entire game's systems aren't built around having a round-based mode, so they're probably redoing a lot right now. Anyway, that was just a little rant. So, story-wise is where Easter egg / story. I know that's what the section is called, but it's more story than Easter egg. Like, this just has to do with story in general, because the Easter egg's more of a gameplay thing. The story is the best part of this map. The voice acting is amazing. The Easter egg gameplay itself is kind of just variants on the regular objectives, except for the last one where you have to use the decimator to break 4 arm thingies that I don't know what they're officially called. Which is funny because I've probably heard the name multiple times, hundreds of times. The Shield, the Decimator. I love him as a character. He's got 2 radios around the map you can listen to give a bit more background on him. he lets you know when your next charge is ready. I love the voice actor for it. It's the best character in the map. There's a lot of radios around the map. I still wish there was an Intel collection system that we could just listen to on the main menu, because it would be a lot easier. I mean, it is easy to listen to them since there aren't zombies constantly coming at you, but still. There's a lot more info giving on how the dark ether works and what like civilization and its society works like. A lot more on chord effects, and Zabala is Syraxis' sister. Like, a lot of lore about all the characters if you want to know it. So I think all that stuff is great. The voice acting is always top notch, and the loading screen for when you load up the map gives some really cool visuals. Like, I just think overall story-wise is where this shines, because there's so much potential that can be done with this story, and I'm really excited to see where it goes next. So story / Easter egg, more so the story. I need to fix this ranking system because it's not going smoothly. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. The Triarch, Craig Houston, all those guys and girls and NBs, potentially, they are all doing a perfect job on the story, and this has so much potential for future map ideas, stuff like that. So the overall weight, I can't talk. Overall rating for this map, Terra Maledicta as a whole, I would give 6 out of 10. Gameplay wise, there's not much to make it distinct from Duran Fong other than everything to do with the shovel. I do enjoy it. I emphasize again, I play this game every day. I do like it. I know a lot of people absolutely hate it, but I do really like this game. And I'm excited to see what Triarch does next with the Shino Numa remake. I hope they name it something different, because it's probably going to be more of the Giant situation than like a Chronicles remake, because it's going to fit into the Dark Ether story. Now I'm just kind of ranting, but we've had so many different versions of Shino Numa. We have Shino Numa from World at War, Shino Numa from World at War Mobile, Shino Numa Black Ops 1, Shino Zombies Chronicles, Shino COD Mobile, Shino Duran Fong, and now we're getting a full Shino remake. I hope they add some new areas like the Black Ops 4 remakes. That'd be really cool. God, I kind of want to make a video about all the Shino Numas, but I never took footage when I was playing the COD Mobile Shino Numa, and now it's like gone forever, so that sucks. But so it's I don't know, it's hard to, I know I ranked Terra Maledicta already, but I'm just rambling now. The review is done. This is more about like the state of like, these maps are a lot different from like how we would talk about round-based maps, so it's hard to like, because if we went from this type of mode to round-based, I bet there would be the same type of complaints, like every map feels too similar and stuff. So maybe I just need to think about it differently and change how I review stuff. I know nobody's watching at this point in the video. The average watch time is like maybe 30 seconds, but I just like to ramble. I do want to make more zombies content soon, so hopefully I do that. But thank you if you are watching, and I am excited for new content. Keep up the great work, Triarch. That is not sarcastic, because I know some people's going to think it's sarcastic.